Seriously, can we just get an entire Pokemon game where the trainer himself fights the Pokemon? Thank you. But I guess that also wouldn't be quite Pokemon, because, you know, Pokemon, you kind of need to focus on the Pokemon in a Pokemon game. And while Legends Arceus is proving to be actually really a lot of fun, even if it's a tiny bit rough around the edges, the one thing I'm not excited by is the look of this rock. It has indeed brought with it a lot of genuinely amazing new Pokemon. Now, I am quite notoriously picky when it comes to Pokemon. Out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I can probably say I only genuinely, proper about, I don't know, 50 at most, and even then, that's probably stretching it. And while I do think that some of Hisui's offerings are a little bit completely and utterly disgusting, Avalugg, I also kind of thought, you know, original Avalugg was pretty bad too, so I suppose I do technically prefer the Hisuian one. In any case, I thought it would be fun, as is tradition, to let you know my 5 favorite Pokemon that Hisui, that Legends Arceus has given to us. The Pokemon that I believe to be the best, the most powerful, wonderful creature creations in all of Arceus's creature creations. So without further ado, let's begin with Hisuian Lilligant, yes indeed. Now, original Lilligant is actually one of the Pokemon that I really, really like. I am kind of a sucker for the sort of pretty flower Pokemon aesthetic. I think it's quite a strong one, and there's a lot of them. Cherim Day Form, for example, is also one of my favourites, although Cherim Night Form, we don't talk about Cherim Night Form. In any case, Hisuian Lilligant is a really nice take on Lilligant. A little bit more agile, of course, the ballerina aesthetic. The colours and the general vibe is still very much there, which makes it a really strong regional form Pokemon. You can kind of see the Lilligant, but you can also see an entirely new direction. Grass fighting is definitely fun, something that we have had before, but it really does work, and of course it being quite a neat little step up of a noble fight after Kleavor is helping its case too. It's nothing mind-blowing, and I still I think prefer normal Lilligant, or at least normal shiny Lilligant, but I do really like this. I think it is quite elegant, and yeah, it definitely works. Coming in at number 4 then is Enamorous, and Enamorous is an interesting Pokemon. Adding a 4th to the Tornado, Thunder, and Land Pokemon is interesting of itself, but the 4th being the Love Pokemon? I mean, I don't know about you, but whenever I'm thinking of the earth itself, the storms of angry heaven, the furious tornadoes, the 4th kind of apocalyptic element doesn't really tend to be love. But I guess it is love. Well, love and
I'm a snake.
Snakes. Yes, snakes. And visually, aesthetically, it's not my favourite, but I think the concept is quirky enough that I kind of dig it. I'm also a real sucker for snakes. I think they're wonderful. I love reptiles in general, so that always gives them an extra point. The Therian form, I'm not a huge fan of. I'll be real with you, and I'm basically going to pretend it doesn't exist for this entry on this list, but the Incarnate form certainly is quite fun. The big pink tornado signature attack in its Springtide Storm is very nice too, and yeah, I kind of just dig it. The eyes are quite piercing, and it definitely has a kind of air to it, an aesthetic to it, a command to it. When I first saw it, I really thought I would hate it, but actually seeing it in game, seeing it in 3D, seeing it move around, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I just kind of have a soft spot for it. I also totally thought when I first read this Pokemon's name that it was enormous, not Enamorous, and therefore had a very different expectation for when I first saw it, but that's a story for another day. Coming in number 3 then, well, it's the goodest dragon that is Goodra. I love the idea of taking Goodra and going, you know what, let's just go full snail. Let's just go full Goose Snail. Because of course, original Goodra, or at least in Sliggoo form, had a bit of a snail shell motif, but in this case, no, they have really, really gone for it, and I think it kind of works. The only thing I'm a little bit questionable on is why does Hisuian Goodra look so sad?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get it.
It would make me want to give it a hug if it wasn't the fact that I'd be afraid that I would get stuck forever. I've always enjoyed original Goodra. I think it's a cool take for a dragon Pokemon, and I really like, well, what they've done for it with Legends Arceus. I think both Goodra forms are incredible in their own rights, and they both certainly deserve to be. And I also love the Dragon Steel typing. It's not the most common typing in the world, and it really makes for quite a fun Pokemon to actually interact with. Now, only if it could cheer up just a little bit. Next, then, is Hisuian, well, Zoroark, the perpetrator of one of the best teases for the entire run-up to this game, and honestly a really, really badass looking Pokemon. I don't think there's any two ways around it, it just works. The white and kind of light pastel red are a triumph of design, and it certainly has that intimidating air about it. And talking of intimidating air, well, the slight wavy, floaty, powered look that it's got really works. Air, but also hair, like the transition there, I thought that was pretty cool. Going from Dark to all the way to normal Ghost is quite the transition. I mean, Dark Ghost would have, I think, been more interesting, but it certainly still has a lot going for it, and it's just incredibly stark, right? Like, it jumps out of you. The contrast is so intense. I think the actual shape is really good. I don't think there's any part that I can point to and go, oh, that's a bit... Even the shiny is fantastic with a bit of a purple touch to it, and I can really get behind Zoroark. Again, it's a Pokemon that I kind of liked before, but I definitely think Hisuian Zoroark is 100 times nicer looking than base normal Zoroark, and that might ruffle some feathers, because I know Zoroark's quite a loved Pokemon, but I really do dig what they've done with Hisuian Zoroark, and I'm very glad he has joined the roster. Finally then, at number 1, well...
Oh my.
Oh,
that's
my.
Okay, so it is Scyther with axes.
Kleavor! Yes, indeed. I thought long and hard about this, and I can't help but give it to Kleavor. Initially, he was a Pokemon that I actually thought I wouldn't like. Seeing him in trailers, seeing him revealed, I thought he looked kind of bad. When I heard Scyther was getting a new evolution, I was so excited because both Cypher and Scizor are probably both in my top 10 all time. Yes, both of them. I really have a hard time choosing between them. The transition to 3D really didn't help Scyther, though Scizor still looked good, but Kleavor, actually up close and personal in-game, seeing him in action, I really like him. I think 2 axe arms are, a little bit impractical. Pokemon are still animals after all, and how does he eat? How does he eat? I mean, I could see how he catches prey. Then again, he eats beans. So look, I have a lot of biological questions on axe arms, but they are definitely intimidating and a lot of fun to see in action as they devastate your opponents. It's just cool to get a full-on new evolution, and for Cypher of all things, and to take it in such a radical direction as an axe-murdering rock bug that, well, really will literally chop you in half. I think Kleavor is really cool, he is a lot of fun, and really the only negative I can kind of give him is he really doesn't look like he should still be a bug. Outside of the little bit of abdomen he's got going on, he really doesn't look like an insect in any way, shape, or form, but is one because he's a Scyther evolution, so that's probably a little bit nitpicky, but there you have it. That, in a quick blast nutshell, is my 5 favorite of the new Pokemon. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I would love to know yours. I really would love to know yours. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Please consider supporting the future channel and Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.